What's a good definition, sort of a definition of community as method? Therapeutic community is a place, but we're talking about an approach. The approach is community as method. A community that is a method or using method teaches the individual. We, the community, teach the individual to use the community to change themselves. I'm going to repeat it in case it needs repetition. It's a powerful definition in my view. We, if we're the community in this room, we will teach you, the individual, how to use us to change you. You're the benefit of this in the end. In the end, it's not the community, it's you. You got to be the beneficiary. We're going to teach you how to do that. But that teaching process could be demanding, how to do that. People have confused that in therapeutic communities and misperceived therapeutic communities that often weren't run properly. So there's some basis for some people's concerns. But if you really appreciate this definition, you can see, well, if the community is really holding to its own definition, we teach you to how to use us, to change us. If you had good parents, you know what I mean? Use me in a way that essentially, for your purposes, learn how to live by using me and using everything we do here, every group, every work job function, every meeting, every recreational action, every single relationship, use it.
And I know we've spoken previously as well about the importance of making every second, every minute, every dialogue, every conversation, every group, even at meal times, everything counts.
Everything counts.
Everyone's voice counts.
Counts. Yeah. But we're in a community that's totally invested in change. And if I'm going to have 70 people sitting in that room with one speaker who's holding their time for 45 minutes, and they may have some difficulty in actually hearing every word, and I even ask for more. I'm even more demanding, and I don't have to hear it. There's got to be a little energy in it. It's got to have some auditory impact on you.
I get that. George, thank you for explaining that about community as method. Mm-hmm. Can we explore that a little bit further? Like how utilizing community as method helps individuals change within a TC?
Well, that question, of course, I tried to illustrate it on a kind of case example as we talked about in terms of the definition. But when a community is operating using community as method, you can really summarize that. The community sets the standards for participation, how you participate, which means it sets up the expectations. You came here, you're going to use us to help you change your life that you want to change, so you're going to learn how to use us to do that. The community then has to be charged with setting the expectations. This is the expected behaviors and attitudes and change. This is what it looks like you have to do. Now it's up to you to essentially understand it and then do it and then see for yourself what works. So the community, when it's community as method, you know the community is setting clear expectations for what they expect. And then two, the community itself is continually following whether you're actually doing those, meeting those expectations. And that underlies a lot of the issues of when we confront people and when we give them feedback. That's all part of the community following what you're doing. They're assessing are you doing it? And then the third component of community as method is once they evaluate whether you're doing something, the community is obligated to give you very strong and meaningful feedback, either sometimes affirmative, you've been doing wonderful, this is how you've changed, or critical, this is where you're still persisting in some old attitudes and behaviors. The community is responsible for giving you that feedback. So there are three essential components in that. Community sets up the expectations. It's obligated to follow you and give you feedback on whether you're meeting those expectations. And so there are a variety of ways that they do that. They do that in groups, they do that in meetings and so on, and they may do that in the course of maybe a kind of disciplinary actions. So when a community is using community as a method, the community is, in the end, the individual is learning how to use that community. It's as if I reverse this to make this point about understanding community as method, it's as if an individual walked in and said, look, I want you to tell me what's the way I can change my life. Tell me how to do that. And I'll listen to you, even if I don't agree with you. You understand? I'll listen to you. I'll do it. And keep following me that I'm really doing it. Make sure that I'm doing it and not doing it. And if I'm doing it, tell me. I need the affirmation. I need the encouragement. And criticize me or tell me if I'm not meeting it. It's as if we're doing that, the individual in that scenario, using the community in that way. To make the point to a lot of other kinds of treatment approach providers, so they get the real essence of what's very distinctive about communities, therapeutic communities in general, but community as method in particular. What we mean by the fact that everything that happens to the individual is mediated through the community. That means traditional styles of doing mental health counseling and so on are very minimal. It's not that they're zero or worthless, but they're not community. If one individual is an authoritative figure as a counselor and has to do a one-on-one discussion, even if it worked, and it often does not work with substance abusers, but even if it did, it would be an approach which would be very costly and long. How would I ever? I don't see you every day. I don't see your behaviors and attitudes every day. Your community does. The whole community is the stage for which you display all the behaviors and attitudes and emotional management issues of who you are. So we see it in every way. It's like when young people on the street, they have community too. They see each other and they give each other a lot of feedback, often too negative. And of course, nobody of those street people have real wisdom about how to change. But once you get into community settings where you're on display and other peoples are going to react to you, then if it's a productive, positive, exciting one, it's going to be all around health and right living. And if you're safe in that, you start to change through that process. I listen to the community. I see role models who've done it. And so I'm going to do it. Even if I have questions about it, I'll do it. And then you can measure for yourself after some period of time, did I change?